Enquanto isso, vocês podem pegar um presentinho aqui, ó.
Um shot de imunidade, é isso? Pra gente poder... Então vamos lá, pessoal. Essa é a nossa última sessão do dia. A gente está aqui com a Ana. A Ana é do nosso time de Digitech. Ela desenvolveu uma das soluções aqui de AI do Google, que é muito aplicável para as agências, que inclui Biotree, For, todas essas ferramentas que a gente viu ao longo desses dias. Então, eu vou trazer a Ana aqui para mostrar um pouquinho para vocês como que a gente pode fazer uso do Dreamboard e como ele pode ajudar vocês também no dia a dia com os clientes. Thank you so much, Anna, for coming. And please.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll teach the English with my Portuguese. I only speak Spanish. But hello, everyone. Very nice to meet you. I'm very happy to be part of the Partners Transformation Summit for Brazil, but here in Mountain View. So I bet that was a long trip. Please come all the way up here. So I was invited to present one of the Google latest AI solutions that we built in my team in GTech. So as you might be familiar with the Google Professional Services team, so we build custom solutions that address marketing use cases. And this is one of the tools that we build. And just before going into more details, a little bit about myself. My role is Customer Solutions Engineering, and it is all about supporting our partners and agencies to build and deploy custom solutions that address their main marketing use cases. And actually, that's how it led to the creation of the solution that I'll present today called Dreamboard. So, so with Dreamboard and these type of solutions, we really want to bring you closer to the latest powered solutions by Google, all the models, all the technology as well. And also we want to show you what's possible with AI. So as you see in this slide, so we are in the age of AI. And really the world is adopting AI faster than ever before. I bet like many of us are already using tools like Gemini, Notebook LM, Vertex AI integration for more complex workflows. And it is really easy for us to do our daily tasks as well. So this is really helping us to make our lives easier and also like automating many of the daily tasks that we have. So as well, so I just wanted from the business perspective, so this is really also reshaping how businesses and companies are working, because like all of the AI integrations are making like all the processes different as well. And I just wanted to share like a sense of like the rapid scale that Google is working on AI. So just in the last May in 2025, Google processed around 480 trillion tokens per month. If you're not very familiar with what a token is, so it's basically when you are creating your prompts to interact with large language models and generative AI in general. And this number, 480, was just compared with the 9.7 trillion tokens that were processed in 2024. So if you see, like, the scale is massive. So it's really, really changing and reshaping everything in our lives. So this is also showing how important it is for markets and how the markets are also evolving with AI. So while AI is, as I mentioned, is making our lives easier, it's making our daily tasks, sending an email, creating a presentation, it's making everything easier. It is really having a profound impact on the market and how marketers are connecting with their customers. So again, just to size the opportunity and the scale of this, it is expected for AI marketing use cases to scale to $50 billion US dollars per year in the near future. And then thinking about how do we want to partner with you and the AI transformation journey with Google partners. So we are considering the AI marketing use cases across 3 different capabilities. So as you see here, we are very focused on measurement and insights, media personalization, and also creative and content. And actually, creative and content is the main focus of this presentation with Dreamboard, because we are leveraging just the power of AI to scale the creative production processes. So also in the last couple of years, so we have been partnering with you and with our advertisers to make the main focus of AI in our solutions. So we are really want to make sure that AI is the backbone of the engagements and the partnerships that we have with you. So as we talk about the cool tech plans and any custom solutions that we build together, we are always considering AI, and we are keeping AI in mind to make sure that our customers, and as you as well, so they benefit from this moment. And as we start prioritizing some of the areas that we want to focus on, we think about building new features, building new integrations, but especially helping you to build new capabilities. So with this, we really want to make sure that AI is helpful for everyone, and we really want to make sure as well as we co-build solutions together, we're always leveraging the latest technology, the latest models, and all of the latest custom solutions that we build, which is actually a great introduction now to the solution that I mentioned called Dreamboard. So what is Dreamboard? So Dreamboard is an AI-powered workflow for creative generation, and it is one of our latest custom solutions built by the GTech team in 2025. And with this, I want you to imagine creating ads that scale across all of your audiences, and it doesn't matter where they are. So right now, the content generation process is a huge leap for creative teams, but we really want to help them with AI-powered workflows so they can customize and optimize the time that they spend, but also the cost by reducing this in a timely manner. So in this case, you can start optimizing the different platforms, different segments, different regions with the creatives that you generate. And then you can also reduce costs and increase speed with simplicity. Now thinking about the challenge, which is the creative generation process, and to be able to personalize all of those assets across many audiences. So it is really a huge leap for creative teams. And with solutions like Dreamboard, we really want to help you activate campaign faster, and also help you generate assets that are personalized, that are also highly relevant, and that are also powered by data. So this is also one of the latest integrations that I'll show you with Dreamboard, where you are able to leverage your performance data to be able to inform the prompts and the assets that you are generating with the tool. So, but what is Dreamboard? So Dreamboard is an AI-powered storyboarding tool that is empowering creative teams to leverage the magic of generative AI so they can reduce and optimize the cost and that they spend in the creative production process. So we have seen actually a rapid adoption across the creative teams who want to really revolutionize how they work with creatives, and they want to transform the way they are producing those assets by leveraging an ideation engine, but also a content generation platform. So a little bit more about how Dreamboard works. Oops, sorry. So a little bit about how Dreamboard works. So it is a platform that is centralizing all of the latest Google AI models. So when you think about video generation with Veo, Imagine for image generation, and also Gemini for multimodal content generation, which includes images, videos, and also text. So the platform will help you generate high-quality video ads from a starting initial creative point and initial creative idea. So then with this creative idea, you can generate and interact with Gemini to do all of the brainstorming for the initial creative brief, or this can also be part of a user-defined creative brief. So for example, when you are already working with specific campaigns, you already define the story for your asset, and you can input that into Dreamboard so it can help you generate a specific story for that specific creative brief. So a little bit more about the use cases. So with Dreamboard, you can use the tool as a storyboarding only solution that will help you generate ideas faster with AI. So you don't really need to go the end-to-end of the video generation. So you can generate the idea, the storyboard, download the idea, and share the idea with the creative teams so they can produce the final video asset. The second use case is the end-to-end video generation. So in this case, it will help you to create video templates faster. So you can download the video template, you can refine it, you can apply additional logos, text, voiceover, and more information that is required for the asset. And in this second use case, you will be leveraging the end-to-end workflow. So you will be brainstorming about the video concept. It will take you all the way to the storyboard and then to the creation of the final video asset. So it really depends on what the customer wants. If they feel comfortable integrating AI-generated content, so they can use the second use case. So now a little bit more about how this works in terms of components. So for Dreamboard, the first step that you need is an input. And we have within the platform the concept of stories. So within Dreamboard, you can create a story. And the story is going to have a specific scene breakdown that you can customize with different scenes that you can also edit individually. So the scenes will help you generate images and videos that will produce a final video asset. So those video segments can be stitched together, can be applied transitions, and that will give you the final generated video. All of this powered by Veo, Gemini, and Imagine. The second step is the creative workflow. So for the creative workflow, you will have the flexibility to use two functions, the text to video and the image to video capabilities. So in this case, a user can really get started very easily, like defining a prompt. And then they can also use a reference image so they can start producing the video segments that they can stitch together into the final video. The last step would be the output of Dreamboard. So all of these combined will give you a long form video that you can download from the tool. You can customize, you can apply any additional refinements, so you can integrate directly with your campaigns. And in case there is any approvals required, I bet there will be approvals for AI generated assets. So you can confirm that, and then you can integrate directly into your platforms. So you might have noticed like most of the work happened in the creative workflow of Dreamboard. So I really wanted to zoom in a little bit about like some of the details that you need to consider when you start working with the platform. The first step to work with Dreamboard, you need to define the initial creative brief and the initial idea for this. So in this case, you can define things like the target audience, the brand guidelines, but also like in general, the creative direction and the format of the video that you want to produce. The step number 2 would be the definition of the story. So the tool will give you a recommendation of 3 potential stories that align with the creative brief and the brand guidelines. So you can select from those stories, and then you can redefine a little bit better if in case you need additional details for the story. So then also as a part of this step, if you're familiar with the ABCD framework from YouTube, the YouTube best practices, so it will also tell you how this clearly aligns to the YouTube best practices, so it performs very better in platforms like YouTube. The third step, super important, is the image generation capabilities of Dreamboard. So you will be able to generate reference images that will give you a starting point for the videos that you want to generate as well. So as I mentioned, we support text to video and image to video, and this is part of the important components if you want to have like a better quality of the videos that you are generating. The fourth step would be the video generation, which is actually where we'll focus most of our times. So in this case, we can define things as the motion of the characters, the background, the scenes, and all of the movements that we want to do in the video. But then you can also use the reference image, which is the previous step, to be able to guide better the video creation for the tool. And lastly, and super important, the YouTube activation. So once you review your assets, once you refine, you add any logos, any background music, or any other like requirements for the video, you will be able to import this generated asset into YouTube by direct integration in Dreamboard. So now, okay. Perfect. So from dream to reality, unlocking your creative assets from Dreamboard, I wanted to show you an example of like the generated assets and the capabilities from the tool and see how close you can get to any existing assets that are, for example, on YouTube, or like maybe some assets that you have already implemented in some of your campaigns. And I really wanted to take the opportunity to take an example from that happened already in Brazil. You might have heard already that Google announced that there will be a 1 year free subscription for students, so they can leverage Gemini for everything related to like university, like high school, so they can actually benefit from AI and the tools. And we are also releasing a set of learning tools within the Gemini ecosystem, so they can leverage all of these capabilities for their studies and to improve how they are learning. So in this case, this is actually very exciting. I'm from Mexico, and I've seen the need also in our country to have this type of capability, so our students can benefit from this as well. So in this case, Google is actually making a big campaign for this. So we really want to communicate to all Brazilian consumers about this opportunity, especially to students, so they can leverage this type of tools. So they are creating the assets that you see on this slide to be able to inspire them and to sign up for these opportunities, so they can keep leveraging those capabilities. So with Dreamboard, I decided to join the mission and create an asset that will help communicate this to the students as well. So I replicated one of the existing YouTube assets that Google created for this campaign. I wanted to show you all of the capabilities within the platform. And I'll also go through a demo, but now I wanted to show you what are the step-by-step of creating this asset. So as I mentioned, the first step in the previous slides is the creative brief. So it is actually your starting point, and within Dreamboard, it is what is going to guide the story creation, and it's going to augment the final results that you're generating from the platform. So in this case, I wanted to use Dreamboard's capabilities and connections with Gemini to be able to improve and enhance the creative brief that I had initially. So I really want to share a message that was focusing on the user and not the actual product. So we really wanted to make sure that we were sharing this message with students, that Gemini is a tool that can help them to become their true potential as well. So then the second thing that I wanted to focus on is reaching the right audience. In this case, Brazilian students that sharing the opportunity that they will have Gemini for free for 1 year and they can leverage all of the capabilities. And third, I wanted to align fully with the Google brand guidelines. So I really wanted to make sure that Gemini will be there just as a seamless partner. And it's an invisible partner, but they still can develop their own true potential with the tools and Gemini. So now, as we said in Spanish, and I Googled it in Portuguese as well, manos a la obra. So what are the results of the generated assets? The asset that you see on the top right is the asset that is the original video that is in YouTube, and the bottom left is the replicated with Dreamboard.
Almir já faz crochê, mas quer novas técnicas de crochê para deixar vovó orgulhosa. Você, só que ainda melhor com Gemini, a IA do Google.
Ana já faz crochê, mas quer novas técnicas de crochê para deixar vovó orgulhosa. Você só que é ainda melhor com Gemini, do Google.
So as you see, I think it's very close to the original video. So definitely the models will be improving, and the video and Imagine and all of those models will have like their latest versions, and the assets will be even better than this. So in this case, I used the storyboarding capabilities of Dreamboard, the image generation, the video generation to be able to generate all of the scenes for the original video and then put them into the platform so I can replicate that video as well. So all of the brainstorming was analyzed with Gemini, and Gemini helped me augment the idea and produce like the final scenes for the final video asset. So now I want to show you in the actual platform how it looks like generating an asset with Dreamboard. So let me now move to the platform. And let me know if you have any questions as well. Feel free to interrupt me. So when you deploy Dreamboard, it is a web application that you can deploy in the Google Cloud platform. So it's connecting with the latest Google APIs, where Gemini, View, as I mentioned, Imagine as well on the backend. And we built Dreamboard in mind to help you go from a video concept to the final generated asset in 3 different steps. So the first step is the AI brainstorming. As I mentioned, the first input for Dreamboard would be a creative brief. So in this UI, you will be able to interact with Gemini to be able to generate an initial story for your creative idea. So in this case, I just included a simple version of my creative brief, which is with Gemini Advanced, they can express their original selves in an even more powerful way. So in this case, Gemini is going to take that as a context, and it's going to augment and improve the creative brief. So the second step is defining the target audience. So this is especially helpful if you are already working with campaigns. So it will help you to add a description of your target audience, add details as demographics, for example, locations, and everything related to the target audience. So the final generated asset is more targeted towards that specific details. And the last step would be generating, including the brand guidelines. So the brand guidelines can come from PDFs, documents, copy and paste of your specific brand guidelines. And this can include things like tone of voice, for example, the brand essence, and any brand requirement that is actually something that needs to be included in the final video asset. And lastly, also, you can define the video format. So for the video format, we are very focused on YouTube in this case. We are also working on other integrations to be able to add other type of formats. For now, you can select from shorts all the way to bumpers, and this will actually determine the length of the story that you are generating. Depending on the length of the format, for example, up to 60 seconds, like 6 seconds, it will give you like the length of the stories and the scene breakdown that you can generate. So let's give it a try with shorts. And let's also ask the tool to generate the initial images. So this initial images is actually the storyboard that you are building within the platform. And it's just like a starting point that will give you a better idea of the story that you want to create. So then once you're ready with all of the parameters, you can generate the stories. So what's happening here is Gemini is getting all the context from the creative brief, the target audience, and the brand guidelines to be able to come up with 3 recommendations. And those 3 recommendations will be closely aligned with the parameters that you provided. You will see a scene breakdown, as I mentioned. It really depends on the format that you define, the number of scenes that you are getting with the tool. So then for every story, you will be able to edit the descriptions in case it does not align with the creative brief or if you need additional details. And you will also be able to include a prompt. So the prompt is also something that Gemini generated for you, so you don't really need to start from scratch. You can edit if you need to edit, update additional details. And you can also remove any specific scenes in case it is too long or you don't really want to include all that many scenes in the final asset. So as you scroll through the stories, you can see like the different versions of this. It will include like different characters, different scenes, different moments, and you can select the one that is actually closely aligned to what you want to produce. So as you scroll down through the story, you will also see, you'll also see how this story will align with the brand guidelines that you provided. So it will provide a summary of how this is actually following the requirements that you define in the brand guidelines. Then also, if you are familiar with the ABCD framework from YouTube, it will tell you how this aligns to the ABCD framework in terms of attention, branding, connection, and direction. So you can actually also take action, and then you can rearrange the scenes and you can update the scenes to make the story more aligned also to the best practices for YouTube. So once you're happy with the story and you decided which one you want to select, so you can export this from here. And what this is going to do is going to take you to the next step. So the next step is called the scene builder. And let me scroll a little bit so you can see all of the storyboard. So the scene builder is actually the UI where most of the creative teams spend the majority of the time building the tool. So it will give you a breakdown of all of the scenes with the images and the generated video segments as well. If you need to refine or customize each scene, so you can do that by clicking on Edit. And this will take you to a UI that is called the scene settings. So as I mentioned earlier, like DreamWorks supports image to video and text to video generation. So if you really want to produce images for the story, you can use the image generation settings provided here. So in this case, you can also add your own reference images from here. So for example, a retailer that might have a lot of products and already like display assets, so they can upload their own images here for the product, and they can just animate it and repurpose a display asset for a video format as well. So then as you scroll down, if you need extra help from AI, so there is also a section that you can use to generate images with Imagine. And in this part, you will be able to see the prompt. So this is actually the initial prompt that also came from the AI brainstorming. And we offer also a capability to rewrite the prompt, which is super important when you are working with generative AI in general. So you really need to make sure that you are following the right prompt, and it will help you to improve the prompt, improve the image that is generated, and also improve the final video asset. So you can also define different parameters like how many images you want, what is the format, what is the compression quality. So it really adapts to the asset and the campaign that you want to integrate this to. So once you generate your images, you can go to the next step that is called the video generation settings. So for the video generation settings, you will be able to customize a prompt that is very specific to the video only. And in this case, since you are already leveraging an image, so you don't really need to provide a lot of details about the background, the character, because that's already like a reference that is taken from the image. So in this case, you will focus more on like the actions of the characters, like the motions and the movement within the video. So that's why we wanted to provide also that capability. Even though you are using the reference image, you can still customize the prompt and make the video even closer to the actual output that you want. And lastly, also we offer the rewrite capability, same as the image generation as well, so you can improve the prompt and you can improve the final video as well. And same as images, you can define different parameters, how many videos, the duration in seconds, the aspect ratio. So it is very important to consider that all of these parameters will be taken into account for the cost that you are generating. Number of videos, the length of the video as well. So yeah, actually very important when you are sizing the cost of an asset. And also, especially with generative AI, we need to do some retries. So, for example, you might generate a first version of the image or the video that you don't like, and then you might need to fine-tune the prompt so you can generate a better version. So, really, we need to consider that as part of the cost for the solution. Okay, once you are happy with the scene, you can save the scene and you can work on the other scenes. So actually the process for going through all of them is the same. So you define the image, you define the prompt, and then you go all the way to the final generated asset. As you have all of the scenes completed, so you can apply transitions. So transitions is this option that you will see here that will give you some options to concatenate the videos as well. So we offer a list of transitions that will give you just like basic version of concatenation of the videos. If you need more advanced concatenation or like merge the video, so we'll recommend like a different tool for being able to process the video. Okay, and then you apply this for all of the scenes, and once you are ready with all of the scenes, all the configurations, you can merge the videos. So once you merge the videos, this is going to take you to the step number 3. And the step number 3 is the post-video production, where you will be able to download, to visualize, first of all, the asset from here. Let me play it from here. So you'll be able to visualize the asset. You will be able to see all of the applied transitions and all of the images and video segments that were generated. From this option, you will be able to export the video. So you can start like applying additional refinements in case you need background music like logos. But I wanted to mention like also as a part of the integrations, we are integrating like logos as well. You will be able to upload logos from here, positioning and in different parts of the video. You will be also able to include background music and voiceover. And the voiceover, we are including also the chirp model, which is actually the one that is used for the final video asset that you saw earlier as well. So, okay, so these are like the 3 steps to be able to leverage the tool. So as you start working on more stories, you'll also be able to save the stories as well. So as you saw, like all of the storyboard, like all of the images and videos, you will want to save them somewhere. So we have a database of stories that you can save under your specific user. So you can also share these stories with different users, and then you can do a collaborative environment to start like building new videos as well, and to start like sharing other ideas with other users who might want to generate video segments and images as part of the same story. Okay, I'll like to stop here super quick in case there are any questions.
Yes. What's the difference between this and the view tree? I know it's a lot different, but I try to understand, like, this is much more deep. And the second thing is, I'm so afraid of having this in the client's hands. Forget about us, because they are going to imagine the client's producing all the films, all the things. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, so it's actually, you can add, for example, specific logs, for example, like how many videos they want to generate. Right? What are like in this case, as I mentioned, like you might be regenerating a lot of images, a lot of videos. If you're thinking about the cost, for example, there are like some guards that you can apply for them to only generate specific number of videos or any number specific of images as well. But it's really like an iterative process that you'll need to kind of like retry like several times, especially if you keep this in the hands of customers. You might need to kind of log a little bit like your price they can do, how many images they can generate, so you can actually keep within like the cost and the budget part that you have versus the asset.
it's not much about the cost. It's about delegating for them to produce the videos.
So in this case would be the creative brief as well, like closely aligning with the creative brief and how Gemini connects that creative brief and the context. So if you provide like an initial creative brief, so Gemini will be getting like super close to that creative brief. And that's why we provide all of the abilities for you to edit, like all the prompts or the descriptions and all of that, so you can get very close. Also very important. So review is part of the workflow. So even though we are integrating, we have a new capability that will push the asset to YouTube directly. So there's always like a stage in between that is required. So for you to be able, like, how close this is to the creative brief, how close this is to the brand guidelines, which is also very important, and then how close this is to, for example, the target message that you want to send as well. So there are like some guards that can be implemented to be able to be safe on like what they generate and like what the reverse process of review is for the integration. Also, everything is like user managed, so nothing is automated like for you to send this directly to the platform. So we really want to make sure that users and humans review the asset before like anything else happens.
And about the view tree, how did you see the difference?
Which one, sorry?
The view tree, how did you feel the difference? Like, you're producing videos in the view tree.
Yeah, so it basically give you control over different things, like for example, the image generation, so you will have full control of that. The video generation as well, so you can really refine what is the prompt, what is the parameters, and what is like the output that you want to generate. So this will give you more control, and it will give you more options for you to customize whatever you need. So in some other tools, it might be a little bit more like, for example, you're interacting with a chatbot or like something, and you get the output, but you might not have like all of the capabilities to be able to go back to the same scene, to the same image, and the same video, so you can customize that directly. And you can make any additional changes.
Anna, and how can we test this? Like, is this an open source software? Like, can we do a deploy in our cloud infrastructure and connect the API keys so we can have our own instance and test it?
Yes, so this is open source solution. Like I'll share the repository at the end as well. So yeah, everything is customized. Like the UI that you see here is just a reference. And it's just like, for example, if you might want to reuse all of the capabilities of the UI, you can do it. Then also you can use the backend, and it is in a microservices architecture, so you can reuse all of those APIs and the connections with Rio, so you can reuse a lot of the components. But yeah, this is something that is open source. You can deploy in your own instance, and you can customize accordingly.
Oh,
Are there any other questions? If not, I'll go back to the presentation. So let me show this one. Okay. So what was the behind the scenes to create this story with Dreamboard? As we saw in the video, Almir, I also started my crochet journey a year ago, and I was also using Gemini actually to be able to upskill on the topic as well. I've never done that before, so I was really using the same technology to be able to get better at the skill. So that's how I actually became a little bit better in all the projects that I've been producing. So I was thinking that it was a really good opportunity to be also the star of the show. So you might have noticed I used one of my images of one of my trips to New York. And if you saw the latest announcement of the latest model for image editor with Gemini, aka Nano Banana. So I used that model to be able to put myself into the different scenes. So as you see, it's kind of close, not 100% close, but kind of close. So I wanted to be on the first scene, like crocheting on the living room. Then I wanted to be in the bathroom, and I wanted to be on the like fish tank as well. So I used that model to be able to change the background, which is also some of the latest cool AI integrations that we are doing in Brainboard. Still not supported, but we are working on it. So this is just a way to show you how you can reuse some of your images and assets that you already have, and use Gemini and all of these latest models to be able to repurpose those assets. So, and something that I wanted to mention, yes, so this will be available very soon in Dreamboard, and as we work together on these type of custom solutions, so we'll be able to customize these implementations as well and start like implementing the new models in the platforms. So that's everything I had about Dreamboard. So please let me know if you have any questions, if you'd like to discuss a little bit more, especially as we start integrating this platform. So yeah, very happy to share more details about the open source repository and some of the steps that you can pursue for you to deploy this. Yes.
I found the GitHub repository already, but like if my engineering team has some questions or doubts while implementing, who can I ask for help?
I can share my email, so you can reach out to me. There's also an alias in the repository, so you can reach out to that specific alias, and you will get the support.
Yeah, they are saying that I can reach out for the students as well.
DTL.
Perfect.
Me or Pazini will help you.
Jose is working really close to Ana, Zé Lucas, so he can connect you with her as well.
Yeah, let me know if you have any questions, if you need additional support, so we'll be happy to work with you and implement the tool in your platforms. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. You know what jazz hands is? Can everybody do jazz hands for a second? Do jazz hands. This is jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Okay, everybody.
Yes,
You know this jazz hand? Yeah, jazz hands, great. All right, perfect. That means two things: nobody's holding their phone, and two, you're paying attention to me. I have 3 more minutes to talk to you.
Thiago.
3 more minutes.
Yes, let's go.
All right. It is my pleasure to try to sum up what we talked about and what I got from you. We got a lot of information yesterday and a little bit less today, but I tried to kind of sort it into our same system and synthesize this information for you a bit. You also wanted to take pictures, obviously, of the Post-its, and I saw you all take notes, so that's great as well. We talked a lot about team education, both yesterday and today. The main takeaway here is use the tools that you have. Use Dreamboard that you just learned about, use VO, Gemini, etc. Using them frequently is going to be your superpower, and it's going to be super important to do that on an ongoing basis. Because we learned these tools change frequently, and there's updates to those tools a lot. Use our competitors' tools too. Try to figure out what works for you, but please use those tools personally. And also tell your teams to do those. Reward team members that are using those tools and trying things with new tools. That way you can build a robust AI foundation in your agency. That's something we talked about. And you can spread that mindset of AI as an enhancer of your team's capability. It's really not about trying to replace something. Livia, you asked earlier, like you're afraid of clients using it. So don't think of it as like it's replacing creatives, it's enhancing your creatives. How can you have your creatives that are still going to be better than clients at making creative assets? How can you help them?
It's not about worried about the creators, just about the clients. Clients have these on their hands, but Luciana gave me an answer, a very good answer, which I like it, and I got more calm. So the light is again with me.
You can see the light.
Yeah, I can
that was my
feel
whole
the light.
goal over the 2 days. Making sure Olivia sees the light at the end of the talk. All right. The second point that this has gotten a lot bigger since yesterday's client education. So how can you talk to your clients about rebalancing in the funnel, right? We talked a lot about upper funnel or consideration, and how can you kind of spread that message of brand love and building brand love and brand trust for your customers. There's a lot more detailed information there if you want to read it. And then a separate idea there is that commerce media is an opportunity. Talk to your clients about that as well. And then this new ecosystem, this new world we all live in, transforming the factory floor. So what are the new ways of working? Hopefully you had some ideas that we got over the last 2 days. But keep thinking, you mentioned this yesterday, keep thinking about how you're redesigning or having to redesign some of the workflows that might have worked in the last 10 years. But now you might need to rethink those workflows and ways of working together. Next, measurement strategy is super important. This is the backbone of everything. It's not always easy to get clients to understand this, but talk to your clients about it. M&M and attribution can be a robust solution. especially if you're talking about budgets on the upper bound. And then lastly, most importantly, Google is here to collaborate. We've met a bunch of really amazing people over the last 2 days. So reach out to them, reach out to your teams. Google's interested to work with you in Brazil. That's all I